things, no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy.
What's going on, guys? This is Gus Gaming, and I want to first off say that I love my grandma, but sometimes she can do the dumbest stuff. Like, this weekend, I went to her house, and we decided that we were going to go to this Asian place. This like, Asian market place that she likes to go, and we're going to have dinner there because they had this, like, food court area. And so, right when I step into this place, it was the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. It was nasty as hell. Oh, my Lord. And, you know, I can't say that I'm not racist, but I won't say the stuff that I think in my mind out loud, and all I can see is Asians. That's it. There's not one white person in there. I was the only white person in there, and for all you who don't know, I'm Arab, so I'm not like 100% white, and I don't really think there is 100% white, but anyways, so we walk in there, we're walking around, and my grandma's getting the stuff she gets, and then she whispers to me really loudly. She goes, "There is way too many Orientals in this place." And I was like, Tata, you have to. Well, I say Tata because that's the way that means grandma in Arabic. I was like, Tata, you can't say that out loud. She goes, "Oh, okay, I got you." And I was like, oh, she like got really quiet. And my grandma at like any gathering ever, like any family gathering, she's known to have this really loud whisper, and she's always really, really, really racist. It's kind of funny because she is also a minority, so she'll say it's kind of like hypocritical and ironic, the stuff she says. I say like five minutes later, I see her walk up to another Asian man, and she looks at him and she says, "Why are there so many chinks in this place?" And the look of pure disappointment in his eyes, it was the most embarrassing thing that I've ever had to go through. And he just looks at her and he just walks away. Oh my God. Sometimes she pisses me off really bad. And she doesn't stop making comments, right? And then I see this other Asian guy walk up. This guy, like, he looks like he's about in his 20s, and he's got Yeezys on. And I look at my grandma, and that was before I started this conversation, before I initiated this conversation, I thought, you know, should I say anything? And I was like, yeah, it won't be that big of a deal. So I say to my grandma, I'm like, that guy right there, he's wearing like $400 shoes. And she looks at me, and then she proceeds to walk up to this guy, and she goes, "Why are you wearing shoes that are $400? And he says, he goes, they're designer shoes, because, you know, they're Yeezys. And then she goes, "Do your parents know you're wearing those shoes?" And he's like, I'm 23. And she's like, "Regardless." And then she looks at him, she goes, "I may have to steal those shoes from you." 5 minutes later, okay, one of the managers from the store walks up to us, and he calls us into this office, and I'm really confused. And she's really confused. My sister's with me. She was just off doing her own thing. So my sister came with us, and she sits us down in the office area. And he goes, "There have been reports of threatening of stealing items from other people." Now, right when he said that, I knew exactly what he was talking about. And my grandma she goes, "Oh no, I don't threaten anything." And then I go to explain to the guy that my grandma doesn't exactly know what she's talking about sometimes, and he goes to proceed to say that someone said she was going to steal his shoes. So he looks at us, and I'm starting to apologize, and she goes, "They are very expensive shoes," and I'm like, this is not helping our case, okay? This is not helping our case. Shush. I mean, I didn't really say that mean, because I try to be disrespectful to my grandma, because, you know, she's old, so she doesn't really know what she's saying. So I'm apologizing to this guy, and he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, it's okay, just try not to let it happen again." And I was like, "Yeah, it's not going to happen again, I swear." So he lets us out, and we continue our shopping, and we've been in here for a good 30 minutes now because we had to go to this office. And Now, my grandma's being as quiet as she can now, and then we get to this food court. They had the weirdest shit for food. Like, it was, I saw snakes, I saw catfishes, I saw ducks hanging from strings. And now I know I don't want to offend anybody's culture by saying this is like weird. It's weird for me because I don't eat that kind of stuff. But I mean, for like the Asian culture, that's completely normal. And then apparently they take baby ducks and they take them out of the eggs right when they hatch, and then they cook them and they serve them to them. So I see this huge platter of just little tiny ducks, like little baby ducks that are like fried and stuff. And without paying for the food, my grandma walks up, just takes it. She takes one off and just eats it whole. And the guy just looks at her and he starts like yelling at her in Chinese, something like that. I think it was Chinese. And she had no clue what he was saying. She just started taking food off the shelves and eating them. And I was like, Teta, stop. And she's like, no, it's okay, it's a buffet, I pay afterwards. So she's just taking all this food and eating it. And these people behind the counter like freaking out, like, well, what the hell are we supposed to do? This crazy woman's just taking food off the shelves and eating them. So I'm like, Teta, you need to stop now. You're not supposed to do this. And she just keeps shoving me off, and I'm not doing anything. So you know what? I'm just like, fuck this. Fuck this. So I go and sit in the chair over at the table, and I'm just sitting there, arms folded, put in my music, and I'm just sitting there listening to music. And what do you know? I get a tap on the shoulder from the same guy who brought us into the office of this grocery store. They call me in. I call my grandma, and then my sister, and he sits us down, and he says, why did you start taking food off the shelves? And she goes, oh, it's a buffet. I thought I was just supposed to eat the food. And I looked at her and I said, Tata, I reminded you 7 times. You're not supposed to take the food off the shelf. You're supposed to pay for the food, you put it on your plate, and then you eat it. And then she looks at me, she goes, I did not know that. And I was like, I just kept my mouth shut. I didn't want to get in any more trouble. He goes, I think it's better that you leave. Now, if you ever get my grandma mad, you know that she's the most stubborn person that I know. She starts yelling at him in Arabic, and the guy has no clue what she's even saying. And I just have, at this point, I just have my head down, just not seeing anything. I was like, nothing I can do at this point will help me in this situation. Starts yelling at him in Arabic, and then two security guards walk in, and I'm like, Tess, we need to get out of here. We should just go home. And I'm like leaning her out the door, and she's still yelling at him in Arabic. And then I get her in the car, and I get her back to my house. It's at the point where I can't even go anywhere in public with this woman. One time, I went to Papa Murphy's. She started arguing with the poor cashier about how she can like lower the price of the food. That's not how it works. It's not a farmer's market. You can't like bargain for the food. You pay for the food and you eat it. That's just how it works. But I gotta cut her some slack. She's old. I'll probably do the same thing when I'm old. Sorry about the lack of uploads. I should be uploading every day. I just don't have time. I just got done with finals week, and I don't know. I'm just too damn lazy. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like.